Good evening, everyone. We have a small crowd today. I'd like to call this special call board meeting of the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees to order, today being Monday, July 29, 2024. Mr. Secretary, would you call roll?
Yes, sir. Mr. Diego Alvarez,
Present.
Mr. Mesa,
Here.
Ms. Haynes.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you note the ones that are absent today?
Yes, sir. Absent will be Mrs. Rebecca Luna Chavez, Mr. Joshua Overfield, and Ms. Linda Guanajuato Webb.
Thank you so much. Let the record show that we do have a quorum of board members and that this meeting was duly called in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. This time we will have opening ceremonies, first with a moment of silence for personal reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. We don't have any citizens to be heard, so we go on to item F, well, this is, again, consent agenda, but there's some purchase orders that are pretty substantial. If anyone has a question before we approve the consent agenda. Again, one of them is over $1 million, and the other one is $49,967. Question, Mr. Galindo.
We just pull F1 just to get the information that was given to us, just to notate about Brown & Brown Insurance, please.
Okay. Dr. Diaz, you want to answer that?
Yes, sir. Over the last 3 years, Brown & Brown has helped us obtain insurances for property, insurances for vehicle, workman's comp insurance. They used to be all under the umbrella of TASB, but if you go with TASB, you're required to buy all of them. You can't shop one insurance from TASB, one from somebody else. So the workman's comp in particular was being very expensive, and it was just throwing the whole packet out of reach. So then we asked Brown & Brown to shop around for us, and we're bringing the property insurance today. This amount here, as large as it seems, is cheaper than what we paid last year. It's a little bit cheaper than what we paid last year, so we appreciate them doing their work. Ms. Haynes, do I remember, not Ms. Haynes, I'm sorry, Ms. Childress. Do I remember 33,000 as being the savings from last year, or is it a different figure?
Saving about $58,000.
I'm sorry, $58,000. Okay, so it's $58,000 cheaper than it was last year. And now you got to remember that we're not insuring every dollar for dollar for every piece of property that we have, but we're insuring a cap. And that's a practice that most districts are turning to now. So it's a savings from last year. It's not $33,000, $58,000.
And nothing's changed as far as the coverage. I know you're saying about the cap, but the cap didn't change or nothing's the same. It just came in at a cheaper rate.
Correct. It's the same as last year. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Rios, did we exclude any campuses that we closed down?
Well, from last year to this year, we still have the same amount of campuses, but the year before that, we did exclude 2 of them. Was there any, Ms. Haynes, can you come to the podium? I know we excluded vehicles, but I'm not sure about campuses.
Good evening. So we did remove the campuses that, of course, we took out, I believe it was like Sam Houston and Travis that we had sold. And then they also have a little bit lower coverage for any buildings that we have that they consider are, what they say, uninhabited or not currently being used. But other than that, no, some part of every building is, I think our total is 333 million in assets is what we're covering.
So would that be part of Cardwell,
Yes.
the old Cardwell?
No, because we don't own that anymore.
No,
Or I'm sorry, where the SJLC
well,
center?
east side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is
Okay.
covered.
So we were using very few buildings on that one as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
One, just for clarification, old Cardwell, which is Travis Elementary back then, and Sam Houston,
Yes.
those were donated to the county, but
Correct.
weren't those donated to the county prior to the?
Yes, sir. I think they were still on one of the asset lists just because of the timing that it was
Oh,
done.
okay.
And so
So-
we did review all of that, and Mr. Chapa assisted with making sure that the buildings that were correct
Okay.
on the listing.
That makes sense.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're not insuring, some of the property that is so far vacant.
Yes, sir.
Now, in regard to Stephen F. Austin, Dr. Rios, Stephen F. Austin is eventually going to move maintenance out of there?
Yes, sir. The two plans right now that are, that we had discussed was moving the maintenance department to Garfield or to Eastside campus. At this point, we think that the most affordable would be to the Eastside campus, sir. So that is the plan that Mr. Chapa is going to come up with a plan, a timeline for us to do that this coming semester.
Okay. So eventually those will be off the insurance premium as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And as far as G1, this is an annual renewal?
No, Mr. Mesa, members of the board, G1 is a contract for services for our diagnosticians. We are hiring a consultant, much like we did hire a consultant for the units, to come and consult with us about the appropriate report writing for when diagnosticians do FIEs, the individual testing for students. So she's going to interview diagnosticians, she's going to interview the director, she's going to come up with some recommendations. We figure that some diagnosticians might do too little and some might do too much, and we want to streamline it so that we can have the appropriate workload for everybody and that we can get students tested and serviced. That's the goal, to get students tested and serviced so that they can have more success in class.
So this person did not assist us last year with the SHARS?
No, sir. It's being paid by SHARS, but this person is all about diagnosticians. Sir.
Okay. Okay, then, any other questions from board members? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Go on to administration, item 10A, consideration to approve delegate and alternate for the 2024 TASB Delegate Assembly, which will be in San Antonio Convention Center. Being that Mrs. Webb is not here today, I would honor her as the delegate assembly and the alternate, Amy Haynes.
Yes, sir.
So again, Mr. Galindo, if you could fill in, delegate will be Linda Webb
Okay.
and alternate, Amy Haynes.
Yes, sir.
Do we need a recommendation?
Yes. And I'll ask for a motion. Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Diego Almaraz. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much. Go on to item 11, curriculum and instruction. Consideration to approve the submission of the Staff Development Days waiver form to the Texas Education Agency for approval of 5 additional waiver days for teacher training. Jane Villarreal.
Good evening, Board President, Mr. Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. This item is regarding the consideration to approve the submission of staff development days, the waiver form, to TEA, Texas Education Agency, for their approval of 5 additional waiver days for teacher training. Our current school calendar includes 3 scheduled days for staff development in August, here next week, and then an additional 5 days of staff development is needed to provide our teachers with successful instructional teaching practices. This request is for the 24-25 school year. Those are the 5 RTI days that are included in our calendar. If approved, those 5 instructional days would be waived to allow for teacher training and staff development days, and the form would be submitted to the Texas Education Agency for approval.
Any questions from the board members? Question? Yes, Mr. Galindo.
Just a quick question, Ms. Villarreal. Will this change the calendar, or will these be updated on the calendar, or how does this work to get the 5 additional days?
They're already indicated in
They're
the
already
calendar.
indicated? Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, any other questions? If not, the recommendation that
Okay.
you read.
The recommendation, it is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the submission of the staff development days waiver form to the Texas Education Agency for approval once the 24-25 applications are available.
For the recommendation from administration, is there a motion? Motion made by Amy Haynes. Is there a second to the motion? Mr. Galindo made the motion, the second rather. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. There being no other items, we're going to go into closed session pursuant to 551.074 and 551.071 of the Texas Education Code. If a vote is going to be taken on any item, it will be taken upon reconvening into open session. The time is 6:12 p.m. We're now in closed session. Okay, the time is 7:41 p.m. We're reconvening into open session. No action was taken in executive. We're down to item 18A, discussion and possible action to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires, district vacancies, retirements, resignations. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Mesa, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resignations and vacancies and the following new personnel: Maria Garcia, pre-kindergarten teacher at Irene C. Cardwell Elementary; Mauricio Ramirez, CTE Trades and Industrial Ed electrical teacher at Career and Technical Education Center; Karina Pena, first grade teacher at Buena Vista Elementary; Myra Ritana, first grade teacher at Dr. Fermin Calderon Elementary; Avery Goodson, fourth grade teacher at Ruben Chavita Elementary; Oriana Ibarra, fourth grade teacher at Ruben Chavita Elementary; and Crystal Tanguma, social studies teacher at Blended Academy.
You've heard the recommendation from administration. There's a motion from Mr. Galindo, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Go on to item 18B, consideration to approve the position of assistant principal at the Del Rio High School. Amy Childress.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Dora Salinas as assistant principal at Del Rio High School.
For the recommendation, I'll entertain a motion. Motion made by Mr. Diego Almaraz, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 18C, consideration to approve the position of Oasis Grant Counselor Intern for Ceniza Hills Elementary. Amy Childress.
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Paloma Faz for Oasis Grant Counselor Intern at Ceniza Hills Elementary.
For the recommendation, there's a motion from Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Almaraz. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 18D, consideration to approve the position of Oasis Grant Counselor Intern for Dr. Lonnie Green, Elementary, Amy Childress.
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Kelsey Hill for Oasis Grant Intern Counselor at Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary.
At the recommendation, there's a motion made by Amy Haynes, seconded by Mr. Almaraz. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 18E, consideration to approve the position of Principal Residency Grant Assistant Principal Intern for Del Rio High School, Amy Childress.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Hope Dunlap for Assistant Principal Intern at Del Rio High School.
For the recommendation, there's a motion from Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Almaraz. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item 18F, consideration to approve the position of Principal Residency Grant Assistant Principal Intern for Garfield Elementary.
It
Amy
is,
Childress.
it is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Darby Balderas as Assistant Principal Intern at Garfield Elementary.
For the recommendation, motion made by Mr. Almaraz, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Item G is tabled. We already have a person that the Century 21st Century Community Learning Grant Director will remain in place.
Yes, sir. Ms. Martinez presented her resignation, and we'll accept the recension of her resignation. She'll stay in place.
Okay, we don't need a motion or anything for that. There being no other business on the agenda, is there a motion for adjournment? Motion made by Mr. Galindo, seconded by Amy Haynes. All those in favor?